G'day everyone, don't normally do sort of gear reviewish type videos. Obviously my stuff's usually about building guitar pedals. I have done a few in the past on the Bad Cat amp, and a few guitars I've done in the past. Not really my forte, so I'm just going to do this more like a show and tell type of video and not so much a review type video. But I'll also record some sound demos through my Bad Cat amp. And I can tell you they both sound blistering through that amp. It sounds beautiful. So I'll start with the lesser of the two, which is this one, the LPM, and then I'll do a separate video on this one, the Studio Pro, yeah, they're both 2014 models, but let's start with the LPM first. So I got this one for 700 Australian dollars, and I know that a lot of my viewer base is in America, and you're heading for the comments right now. That's not cheap. In Australia it is cheap. I know in other parts of the world you can get that a lot cheaper, but the recommended retail for this is 2,000 Australian dollars. And I mean, we just get ripped off in Australia. It's just how it is. But there's so many taxes, import taxes. You know, the business has to make money in some way. And once you chuck layers, taxes on taxes on taxes, and all this other business on top, expenses running a company, staff costs and all that sort of stuff, that just inflates the price to just a ridiculous amount. So 700 for this is quite good. That was, well, the recommended retail was 2,000, but I mean, obviously you could talk them down to probably 14 or 1,500 like that. If you walked in there and said, I want to buy that right now, they'd chop a whole chunk off it. But still, 700 is probably a couple hundred cheaper than second-hand prices, and this is basically a new guitar. It's been sitting on the shelf for a while. I had to polish the frets, they were looking a bit crusty, but overall it's pretty much a new guitar. There's not a scratch or a dent on it, you know. I mean, it's been looked after in the actual shop at least, and people haven't sort of trashed it when they've been demoing it. You would be mistaken to think that it was a new guitar. I mean, apart from the odd maybe superficial scratch on it, it's pretty much brand new. It's in very good condition. So you know, it's cheaper than secondhand prices, so I snapped it up because I've always wanted a Les Paul since I started playing, and I have a PF 150 Ibanez, which is a fantastic guitar, but I always wanted a Gibson Les Paul, and now I actually have two of them, which is kind of funny, to be honest. So this is the LPM 2014, and it's got what does the M stand for? I've heard it stands for mahogany, and I've heard it stands for Mini Tune because it's got the Mini Tune electronic system. Some people hate this system. It's kind of a convenience and an inconvenience rolled into one. So the tuners have got motors inside them which automatically tunes the guitar for you. It gets it spot on pretty much every time. I just tuned this just before, so it's probably not going to find much when I do it now. I might do a slight adjustment, but you can see on there it changes color as you strum each note. I don't know if you can do all notes in one go, but I find it kind of gets a little confused when you do that. So of course it's in perfect tune, so it's not going to do anything. That one's a little bit out. G string's a slight bit out, and so is the B, and the high E is way out. And the thing that surprises me actually is it gets it right almost every time. Sometimes it screws it up. It'll tune a string way out, because once that string stops ringing, it tends to just give up. So it'll give up in the wrong spot. It's not that it's tuned it incorrectly. It's given up at the wrong time. Hasn't finished the job. But apart from that, if you like pay attention to what you're doing and keep an eye on the lights on the back, you can get it. It'll tune it pretty much spot on every time. And you can also tune it manually if you need to, if the battery runs out. You can see some of the inconveniences now. You've got to charge the battery. Apparently it holds enough charge for 300 tunes. I haven't tried that myself yet, but it's probably a bit of an exaggeration. And also manually tuning up can be a bit of a pain in the ass as well, because if you want to, there's like a menu system on here, but as you saw before, there's only a few buttons, and you know, you got to hold up and then press down and then left and then right. It's like a Super Nintendo cheat code, you know, like it's just, the menu system on it just sucks, to be honest. But apart from that, once you got your new strings on and you've got it in tune, you've managed to get it working, it's pretty good. I mean, as you saw, it was pretty quick. Saves me having to get my mobile phone out, my tuner on and tuning it manually. At least it's pretty quick in that respect. I don't know if it can tune on the fly though, like while you're playing. I don't think it would be able to do that. It would just confuse the crap out of it. So yeah, you've still got to stop playing and do it manually in that respect. So I'm not a pickup aficionado. I know nothing about what pickups should sound like and which ones are good and which ones aren't. These are called Zebra something. I don't even remember the name. You have to just look up 2014 Les Paul LPM and you'll see the page with all the specs on it and what it comes with as far as that goes. These are Zebras. Speed knobs, which are just basically like a tall knob, as you can see from there. So you're supposed to be able to grip it quickly. Let's do some close-ups. Isn't that what the whole point of recording videos is about? So that's got like a chrome matte finish on it. As you can see, it's not a shiny chrome. It does look good. It suits the matte finish of the actual guitar, and it is an attractive looking guitar. I've taken some photos of it, and the photos just made it look very poor. The front, particularly the front, it looks like a child has painted it. You know, it's very patchy. But in the flesh, it looks pretty good. It's kind of got a bit of a rustic sort of look to it. See down the bottom here, it looks like there's a big dark patch, and I mean, it kind of is. But every one I've seen has this sort of dark patch, so it must just be part of the processing of the guitar. You know, the finishing of the guitar. It's just how it turns out. You know, you just end up with a bit of a dark patch down the bottom here. I don't know why, but that's just how it is. And like I said, in the flesh, it looks quite good. So it weighs a ton. I saw a video on someone saying that it's got cutout. I think it was actually the Gibson guy said it's got cutouts in it, and it probably does. But I tell you what, it's got some weight in it. It's a heavy guitar. It says, I think he said it won't break your back, but I tell you what, this will break your back. It's heavy. If you like a heavy guitar, that's good. If you don't like a heavy guitar, it's not, because it has quite a lot of weight in it. Almost as much weight as my dad's PF 400, which is a very heavy guitar. So I'll play a few riffs through the Bad Cat amp. Hope should sound pretty good. I'll mic it up, obviously, so you can have a listen to it. It's a fantastic guitar. Oh, what about the action? It's probably the most important thing. Well, the sound and the action. The action's very good, considering it's just come out of the box. I think it probably could use a redress on the frets and a level. It's slightly rough. Very good, considering I haven't done anything to it. It's the setup is good just out of the box. Like I said, could probably use a setup though. So I'll probably maybe get them both done at the same time. The Studio Pro is almost like it's already been set up. It's in fantastic shape. The action on the neck is very good. And the sound's really good too. This one sounds a little bit more straightforward than the Studio Pro, but yeah, the Studio Pro will be a different video. So let's have a listen to it.